as instructed by Cong, Mr. Rangel's office.
Let Charlie know, no fast track. No fast track for the CPP, let Charlie know. Put the power back in the hands of the people, at least the elected officials. We can't have these corporations making these decisions for us. All right, these decisions are being made in secret. We need to tell Charlie no. Guys, call Rangel, let him tell him no. No, we can't have that fast track, all right? Just tell him. He's going to read it, he's a smart man, he's going to help us get something that's not like some down our throat by the corporations. Tell him not to let these corporations shove these laws down our throat.
We don't want no TPP. What we want is democracy. We don't want no TPP. What we need is democracy.
Today we're calling on Representative Charles Rangel to not cave into the corporate interests and endorse fast-tracking this legislation.
I'm here because I live in this district. Charlie Rangel, I even voted for you. So I would like you, as my representative, to vote no on fast track. And if it ever does come to a vote, and when it comes to a vote, to vote no for TPP. This is not in our interests in New York, in Harlem, anywhere in this country. So please, I ask you as a voter in your district, vote no.
Whereas members of Congress have not seen the full agreement and may only be able to deliver an up or down vote under fast track. Whereas what Americans do know about the Trans-Pacific Partnership indicates that, among other things, it will wreak havoc on national, state, and local environmental and food safety and financial reform laws and regulations. And whereas the TPP will protect multinational corporations from accountability to American government at all levels. Therefore, be it resolved that Three Parks Independent Democrats calls on our federal, state, and local officials to vote, speak out, and otherwise take a stand against fast track, the TPP, and other similar trade agreements.
Fast track, in case you didn't know, is a little trick invented by, of all people, Richard Nixon in the 1970s. And it's a trick to get around the Constitution. Congress is supposed to regulate trade with foreign nations. Fast track is a sneaky way to get around that. It's only been used 16 times since Nixon invented it. So when they tell you we have to have fast track to have trade, that is, what a surprise, a big lie. We don't need fast track for trade. In fact, even since the 70s when fast track came in, over 200 trade deals have been passed without fast track. Fast track is just for the big bad ones, NAFTA, CAFTA, all that. When we started organizing against fast track about 6 months ago, 5 or 6 months ago, we only had 2 New York State representatives signed on to the DeLauro letter, pledging to vote against fast track. Because of your work and what everybody has done in New York State, we now have a vast bipartisan majority of members of the House of Representatives. So congratulations to you. We have 18 of the 21 Democrats. We have 3 of the 6 Republicans signed on, pledging to vote no against fast track. Of course, now we have to hold our vote, right? I'll talk about Charlie Rangel in a second. Let me quickly tell you what comes next. The fast track bill will be introduced, we expect, this coming week when they return to Congress on January 8th, probably. Then there will be hearings. It might also be simultaneously introduced in the Senate. With respect to Schumer and Gillibrand, ignore the Senate. We lose in the Senate. They can vote however they want to in the Senate. We're going to stop this thing, and we can stop this thing in the House. In the House of Representatives, that's what we care about. Then, after it's introduced, there will be hearings. At those hearings, we want Charlie Rangel to be a leader, to be a vocal leader at the hearings and the Ways and Means Committee on which he sits. Right now, he's waffling. He's going back and forth. He's saying to labor, yeah, don't worry, I'm voting against fast track. He's saying to other people, get out of my face, I don't want to talk about it.
A couple months ago, we heard from him about how he believes in the Constitution and doesn't believe in fast track, he believes in slow track. Well, since then, he's backpedaled. So the question is, are we going to let Charlie Rangel backpedal?
No!
Are we going to let Charlie Rangel backpedal?
No!
We're going to hold Charlie Rangel to his words. Like he said, we don't want fast track, we want slow track. So Charlie Rangel, stick to your own words. Stop voting for trade, stop supporting trade policies that damage the environment, that attack labor rights, that make medicines unaffordable, that attack internet freedom, that endanger our climate future, that give all the power to the 1% and destroy democracy. We're done with the NAFTA model, Charlie Rangel.
We're done with the NAFTA model!
You constituents need to tell him, come clean, Charlie Rangel. We don't need politics as usual. We need you to tell us the truth. How are you going to vote on fast track?
Come clean, Rangel! Come clean, Rangel! Come clean, Rangel! Come clean, Rangel! Come clean, Rangel!
One last point. Don't anybody call your representative and say vote against TPP. There is no vote against the TPP. That will not be counted by their office as a call against fast track. You have to say vote no on fast track. We don't want no TPP. What we want is democracy. We don't want no TPP. What we want is democracy.
We don't want no TPP. What we need is democracy. We don't want no
Making a mental note to send you that video of